Hey guys, how's it going? Ryan with Rigs of Death Metal here. Today we're checking out a couple things. Namely, we're checking out this Kramer Beretta special that I have on loan from my other guitar player from Gorthauer, Nate. Um, and we're also going to be checking out the Behringer Ultra Metal pedal. Basically, this is just going to be like kind of a quick like budget rig, I guess. Kind of budget, kind of not when you see the chain. Um, we'll start with the guitar. So at the base of everything, let me stop the recording here. At the base of everything, you've got this Kramer Beretta special, as I said, and before I'm just doing like a quick setup on this thing, nothing too crazy. These are like $200 brand new, and they come, mahogany, maple, rosewood, kind of your typical six screw vintage tremolo, and an Alnico 5 humbucker, like a proprietary humbucker, non-locking tuners. So these things are really great bang for your buck. I mean, this thing's solid. And at this price point, you'd almost expect like pine or some softer wood, but no, this thing's great. The fit and finish on it's, I couldn't ask for much more. Just a bare bones, awesome guitar. I almost wish, I know other people have echoed this too, for these entry level guitars that they just go ahead and do a fixed bridge. Because this is obviously for like rock and metal guys, and none of us use these vintage Strat style tremolos. Like nobody. I have a Godo hip shot, which is like a better version, but nobody uses Strat tremolos unless you're Ingve, which his are nicer. Anyway, yeah. So I'm not sure who did the mods for Nate, but swapped out the Alnico 5 for a EMG 81, and I put a 24 volt mod, like the little 24 volt mod pack in here instead of the 9 volt battery, because it's a non-permanent mod. Just unplug your 9 volt, plug in the 9 volt mod module, and that's it. Just to give it more headroom. It's not, a lot of people might think it's like a gain thing, but it's not. It's actually the opposite. It gets you some more dynamics, a bit like a passive pickup almost. He's also had somebody install these some non-branded locking tuners. I have no idea. I don't know. I don't think these are hip shot. There's no markings on them. They're cool. Any kind of locking tuners are better than not. Got some kind of cool purple knob. Not that that's really, a mod. Actually included a cool like little kill switch here instead of the tone knob, because who needs a tone knob? And as far as the Behringer Ultra Metal pedal, I'll just throw up a little picture here. It's a metal zone. We've all messed with metal zones. Running it into the higher power, it is the same as if you were running it into the return of your amp's effects loop, or if you were running it into a standalone power amp. Honestly, if you ran it straight into your interface, it would also work well as long as you pair it with a cab IR. The important thing with the metal zone that a lot of people get wrong, it doesn't work great if you run it into like the clean channel of an amp, because the amp's EQ section and the pedal's EQ section just don't play well together. So it's best if you leave it as is. So either straight into your interface with a cab, some kind of digital cab IR loaded into your DAW. If you can, want to record direct. In this case, it's going, pedaled higher power, and then it's actually running. You can see behind me. Yeah, I got my Marshall Mode 4 cab. It's got the 100-watt Celestion speakers in it, and I'm miking it with an SM57. Not because I think it's a very accurate representation of what you hear in the room, but it's what our ears are used to hearing on recordings. That is on loan from it. The SM57 is on loan from another bandmate of mine, Dresden, our bass player. Thanks, guys, for loaning me some gear for a demo. Also, DiMarzio strap locks, clip locks, whatever they are. Yeah, I didn't really do much on this other than I set up the action the way I would like it and gave it a good clean, fret polish, all that stuff, checked intonation, yada, yada, yada. Enough of my talking. I will let you hear what this sounds like more. Yeah, as you can hear from that little demo there, a little bit more dynamic, especially when you would hear like the chords ringing out. Get a little bit more note definition as opposed to just the super compressed kind of wall of gain. Talking with my hands a lot here. Wall of gain that you would usually associate with a 81. I'm also going to let you hear what this sounds like with. I'll throw up a picture here. It is the Foul Sounds TGV1, and the way I have it set up, it's essentially just a tube screamer, like your standard volume dimed, gain down, tone is a little bit on the bright side. Regular ass tube screamer, nothing fancy. This is all familiar territory, just to illustrate to you. You can get some really solid tones. This is a great guitar. You can get solid distortion tones for extreme metal for not a lot of money. You can run, there's other power amp pedals out there like the Moore, Mooer, Moore Baby Bomb 30. It's like a 30-watt little power amp pedal. Electro Harmonics makes one. You can buy these things anywhere. There's so many different solutions. You could run if you have an amp head and you're just not happy with it, run one of these things into the return. Just bypass the preamp section and use this thing. It sounds great. Anyway, I'll let you hear the pedal. All right, so here's boosted. again, $200 guitar. Yeah, there's been some mods to it. You could pick these things up. I've played them in stores. They're solid right out of the box. And then you could just mod them to whatever your preferences are. You know, swap the pickup out, get some locking tuners off Amazon or something, or get Hipshot, you know, go all out. Since you're saving so much money on a guitar, and, you know, and they have like a little bit more, you know, like a next budget up with a neck pickup if you're like me and you like, you know, those bubbly kind of neck solos, whatever. But this, I mean, yeah, rock solid. And I kind of like the whole 80s, 90s aesthetic too, you know. Uh, but yeah, most of you guys have some kind of cabinet, some kind of amp already. So, you know, whatever your purpose may be, maybe you want to augment that or, you know, bypass the preamp you got. You want something heavier. This is it. Another cool trick. Um, Probably not going to do it right this second because I don't feel like rearranging the rig that I've got set up. But another really solid trick you can do with these is using, if you do want to use a metal zone up in front of an amp, just to keep things simple, to boost the amp you got. These things have a good amount of, you know, the volume knob serves as a pretty good linear boost. I know Crowbar and Cannibal Corpse for a long time would run these things instead of a tube screamer or a Boss overdrive or whatever. They would use a metal zone. Keep all the EQ, you know, all the EQ controls at noon, so that the preamps aren't messing around too much. You can tweak them to taste, but noon, like dead center, pretty neutral sounding. That's where I usually like to keep it if I'm boosting an amp. Um, Gain, I'd usually keep off, and volume, I just dime that thing. Literally use it the exact same way that I dial in a tube screamer. Again, works for Crowbar, works for Cannibal Corpse. If you're in either of those, give that a shot. Um, and yeah, the regular metal zone, it's a relatively inexpensive pedal, but if you're really balling on a budget, or you just don't feel like maybe your past experiences have made you wary of the circuit in general, uh, give this a shot. Like I said, brand new from Sweetwater. I think they're 25 or $30, and then you can always get one used like I did and save even more money. At that point, it's so cheap that if it's not your cup of tea, really not out on much. Um, or like I've got it set up with a little pedal power amp. There's that running into a cab. Uh, pretty good, pretty good rehearsal or practice rig. That way you can save your tube amp for your gigs or recording or whatever, you know. But yeah, I'm no one's sponsoring this video. Again, this is either borrowed gear or stuff that I've bought or had already. So just wanted to share this with you guys, you know. Uh, Kind of a cool budget oriented rig. Um, and then yeah, oh, for the actual finished track that you guys heard at the beginning, you know, prior to the talkie talkie part, just running the Ultra Metal. Keep wanting to call it the Metal Zone, but ran the Ultra Metal, just guitar straight into the pedal, output for the pedal straight into the interface, and then ran a cab IR from Loudstack because I don't even know if Ron's still doing the cab IRs or not. I got to go check on that. But there's a million different cab IRs out there. I'm sure there's some free ones, and I'm sure they're good too. Um, just any relatively inexpensive ones of a cabinet that you're somewhat familiar with the sound of will work. Um, Learn your way around, you know, your recording setup. You learn your way around tracking and all that. Some basic engineering. You can make any of this stuff sound passable, and no one's going to tell. I promise. But yeah, with that said, thank you all for watching. We will see you next time. Peace.